Hey Brickmaniacs, welcome back to another Monday Sit Rep. Our President's Sale has indeed kicked off on brickmania.com and in our retail locations as well. Use code BKM15 for 15% off everything online, excluding pre-orders and a couple of reseller items in our retail stores. Otherwise, the vast majority of everything going online is indeed 15% off. We got some fresh stuff back in this lineup as well that is eligible for that sale. So let's dive on in, take a closer look. All right, Brickmaniacs, we're kicking things off with something a little bit unusual. So I pulled this bad boy out of the GHQ, our display model for the Blackhawk, the DAP version, which is restocking on Restock Pre-Order today. And I noticed that it's still got ninjas piloting it, and it's missing pretty much all of its printing except for this United States Army portion on the back here. So this is definitely still in prototype phase, which means we are getting it outfitted with this printed parts as soon as possible. So we're going to show off some renders, and that'll be kind of our replacement for being able to show off exactly all the printing. But obviously when it comes to play features, we can still showcase plenty of what we got going on here. So this is pre-sliding door era, but it does have a lot to love about it still. You can see that awesome Batwing loadout that it's got on both those sides there. Really, really epic looking. Not to mention the interior space. It does come with a crew of 4 and is fully printed with a whole bunch of awesomeness on there as well. But like I said, this is still the prototype version because for some reason that's what made it down to the GHQ. So standard play features include that folding tail boom over here on the back so you can load it up for storage. It does have that rescue winch integrated into the top as well, as you can see there. And then just a whole bunch of other epicness with the opening pilot doors, and then plenty of printing, as you can see or saw via those renders that we had showcased there. But back on Restock Pre-Order, the DAP Blackhawk, now ready on brickmania.com. Not eligible for the sale because it is a pre-order, but still an epic kit nonetheless. There you have it. Let's keep moving on. Also on Restock Pre-Order, we have the MTVR Mark 23 along with the M777. This is comes as one kit together. As you can see, we got the truck here with kind of a unique design angling on the back here to capture that accurately, and then obviously some really cool prints going on the front here as well, and then this turret to sit up on top, which is just kind of crazy looking to see how that all integrates together. And then of course, moving on, we have the M777, which also comes with that awesome printing on here. And then that epic 3D printed muzzle brake, which is just dastardly looking. Does come with a pair of minifigures as well. Obviously we got play features for elevating, depressing on this bad boy as well. If you want to learn a little bit more about the M777, I believe Shytime has a sweet video about it out already as well. Speaking of which, pair of minifigures also included with this kit. There may be some familiar faces recognized there. There you have it. Then moving on to our straight up restock for this week before we get into Minifig Monday, and that's the Beep. So this one is eligible for the sale. It's only $100 to begin with, so 15% off. You pick that up as well. Super nice. Get yourself some minifigures. The Beep, back in action on brickmania.com. Let's jump into Minifig Monday. All right, and as promised, Minifig Monday going strong with a 6-figure restock plus a pair of perfect calibers, which is awesome. So we got to have Landon in studio to talk about these bad boys because for some of them, it's been quite a while since they've been back.
It's been a while,
and I know
absolutely.
people are pumped about this Desert Storm lineup.
Yeah. 6-figure release schedule, that sounds good. That sounds nice. Where do you want to start, Dylan?
Well, so Black History Month, let's start with the Harlem Hellfire.
Yeah. It's nice to see this figure come back. Released it a couple years ago, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. And so that you can kind of see that this is an older generation of figures based on this custom printed stand. It got a little bit difficult for us to source stands in quantity, so now we kind of just save it for legacy figures like this. Maybe occasionally you'll see it. We'll see. It's just harder to get a hold of that stand in quantities that we'd like. So
right. There did have to be a price change on this figure due to that, but ultimately we didn't want to have to edit down this figure from what it's back then. We wanted to bring it back.
Yeah, so it's nice. With Bricklink, if you go into a parts supply too much, then it starts to drain the quantities. So if you just wait a little bit, sometimes parts come back. So now we're able to get a couple stands here and there.
Cool.
Which is a nice display feature for it, right? So we got the name printed on there. Some nice subtle two-tone ink going on. I don't know if you can see that like clearish black on black printing. It's got the Brickmania logo. It's slick.
You can catch it in the light a little bit.
Another thing that is nice about this figure is that we did some texture printing. So on the Adrian helmet, you can see that there. So it's a French helmet. and if I'm not mistaken, a U.S. uniform and French like leather gear. Harlem Hellfighters, it's the U.S. uniform underneath of that, but then they're working with the, deployed with the French, and they got a lot of that gear. So it's an interesting combination.
Yeah, makes sense.
Texture printing on the helmet, texture printing on that metal there as well. So some obviously more interesting history. You can get some links for that.
Yeah, check out the website. We've got stuff in the description. You can learn a little bit more about the Harlem Hellfighters and, just how much they sacrificed.
Yeah, I've never professed to be a history expert. I am learning along just with you guys. So this has been a lot of fun. Go read up on that. Next up.
Yeah, let's just kick it down the line then from here. So I know it's a little bit mixed between Desert Storm, World War II, etc. But each one provides some awasomeness. Look at the 3D printed headgear we have in this scene alone. I mean, holy smokes, this is awesome.
Absolutely.
So these are the Royal Marines Desert Storm era.
Yes. And again, it's that British, it is kind of interesting. I think it's a throwback almost to that World War I paratrooper helmet. They have a kind of distinct look to those British helmets. So we just recreated it here in 3D printing, then printed that desert DPM camouflage on top. Kind of got that brush stroke look to it. This is just, it's a fairly simple loadout, some transitional gear. They have more modern stuff now, but you can see some similarities almost to their World War II gear almost, but it's like transitioned,
Yeah.
They got the really bigger pouches on the front there, which is, totally iconic from World War II with British stuff.
Can't go wrong with the scarf, mustache, and sunglasses either.
Just overall, I think it was, I hope I captured the look of that era.
Absolutely, very sharp looking figure. Moving on, so quick note on these guys before we dive into the figure itself. Super limited restock available on brickmania.com for these dudes right now because we did not have a huge quantity to run through. So I think it's something like only 74 actually hit the web this time. We're gonna do our best to get those back, but for now, very limited batch. So if you want them, especially while they're on sale, don't wait.
Right. And I hope we can do our best to restock these down the road, but still don't wait, because who knows how long it'll be before it gets restocked again.
Well, they won't always be 15% off either.
Yeah, there we go. World War II pilot, what's the official name on this one?
U.S. Army Air Force crewman.
Right on. I think Drew actually put this one together. We're kind of folding more people into this design process, and it's been really nice to get, have designers, take some older artwork or produce completely new stuff and then sort of mix it together, getting some sort of fresh blood into the system. So Drew put together some new boots for these guys. There's some, I think they're electrically heated.
Sure.
I know we had some in the back during World War II. I'm not positive on these boots, but there is the Air Force or U.S. Army
Air Force's
insignia on the side of those boots, which I thought was a cool,
nice touch.
Cool touch. Yes. Moving on.
Doris Miller, yeah.
Right on. Dory Miller. Again, I can't do justice to this history. Please read up on this. All these minifigures, go read up on the history of it. That's kind of why we're doing this. But a really simple uniform, and just a very heroic story behind it all. So please check that out. But for the figure itself, a simple uniform, some simple fabric folding going on there. I played around with some new shadows to kind of get that sailor kind of look to those pants, a little bit more baggy. But yeah, got the metal there as well. Yeah,
go check that out. One of the heroes of Pearl Harbor.
Absolutely.
Moving on, so now we have the U.S. Marines and the U.S. Infantry Desert Storm era.
Yeah, you can see kind of a very similar, obviously the same camouflage, similar loadout. To me, it looked like the Marines got a bit more of a sparse loadout at times. And then they also had the leather boots, which I saw more commonly, whereas the Army, it seemed like they had more often jungle boots.
Interesting.
There's exceptions to every rule. They get deployed. I think they were drawing from the same stockpile or stock pool. Whatever, both the Marines and the Army, so you see a lot of overlapping gear. Which on the back, you get that butt pack, some canteens. We're kind of just looking at both of them,
Yeah, no, totally fine. Obviously, we got to hit on that awesome 3D printed gas mask.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's still one of my favorite 3D printed pieces. So this is for the U.S. Army.
Correct.
Desert Storm.
Yes.
Marine, he just kind of has this balaclava goggles going on there. But yeah, for the Army, he's got his. I'm blanking on the plate carrier now. He's got his body armor and that same Alice gear as well over top of that. But I love the chocolate chip camo printing
Yes,
on the helmets
absolutely.
too. So.
Absolutely, goes really well with the releases from this past Friday
Yes.
as well. And then finally, to wrap things up, we also have 2 perfect calibers, which are showcased here by our Randos, which you'll be
Randos.
able to get some of those at the grand openings for our California
grand
locations.
opening?
Yeah,
What?
so stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for info.
But otherwise, both of these bad boys are back online. So this is the Car 15, I want to say, and the HAC.
Yeah, that Car 15. This is kind of based off of the one featured in Blackhawk Down, but that's
Cool.
of course based on real stuff as well. So, but this is just sort of the iconic one, maybe a bit more on the Hollywood side, but it's still a really sweet looking camouflage job
Absolutely,
on that
very
gun.
sharp looking.
Moving around to this side, we have the Scar.
HAC, yeah, right.
Yep.
But it is the Scar.
Oh,
We
yeah,
know
sorry.
what we're looking
Is
at.
that like copyright or something, right? HAC, heavy, what is that? Heavy assault?
Cannon. No, I don't know.
Carbon, yeah. But I think we initially debuted this in, what helicopter was it? But now we have it.
Oh, yeah, the Seahawk. You're right. You
Yeah,
had it with the
yeah.
guy with the American glasses. Good point.
Yep. Now we have it available as a standalone. These also go pretty fast, so.
Yes, no
Don't
kidding,
delay.
especially these versions. So there you have it, guys. This entire lineup, all 15% off right now on brickmania.com. Landon, thanks for the breakdown, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right, Brickmaniacs, that will just about do it for a Monday sit rep. Remember to use that code BKM15 to save 15% off your order on eligible items on brickmania.com and in our retail locations. And speaking of retail locations, Vallejo and San Diego, both still looking for employees and still getting ready to open, etc. So stay tuned for dates when it comes to the soft openings, as well as when we will do our grand opening events as well, because they are going to be an absolute blast. And we want to see as many of you there as we possibly can. So that will do it for a Monday sit rep. Thank you very much for watching.